Okay, hi everyone. My name is Kathy Giori. I come from Mozilla's Mountain View office in California. And as Ali said, you know, we have a large organization mostly focused on Firefox, but there's 100 or so people in emerging technologies. And our Web of Things initiative is part of our emerging technologies. We're focused on protecting people, putting people first in terms of IoT, with the use case of smart homes as the first part. So the title, IoT Forecast That's Sunny and Clear, No Clouds. So what I'm going to be presenting today is the WebThings gateway running on this little Raspberry Pi. I actually don't have it connected to the internet because that was hard. It can be connected to the internet. But our whole project is basically protecting you from these sorts of concerns. So we've interviewed a lot of people, and their concerns about security are always first and foremost. You know, I go to a lot of conferences, and IoT security, that's the only thing. But even if I have a thing that's connected to the cloud and it's totally secure, what about my privacy? Where's my data going? Who has it? So privacy is also a big concern. Interoperability, like can you only buy one brand? And then overall value, the things last, can you reconnect them? So architecturally, what Mozilla is doing quite a bit different from most vendors. Most of the time you buy the device, they connect the device's data to the cloud, you download some smartphone app, that app talks to the cloud. But in our case, we actually run all of the interoperability of the WebThings locally, and you use a JWT or OAuth framework to share those data with the cloud. We're not saying like data never goes to the cloud. We want consumers to decide what data goes to the cloud. When I'm here, I can tunnel into my office, I can tunnel into my home with an HTTPS tunnel where no data is stored or processed in the cloud. I'm just going like I go to a normal website, only the website is served up by the gateway. I'm going to quickly go through some of these slides. The decentralization we think is important. So all the data is not in the hands of just a few big tech companies. Privacy is you own and control your data. When you set up this gateway, there's a subdomain that you create that downloads a certificate from Let's Encrypt, and then you can own that unique domain as long as you want. And we've been working with the W3C Web of Things initiative for the last couple of years, and that whole initiative says we get all these different radio protocols and messaging protocols, but where we really want to bring IoT data is to web developers, and web developers would like to consume it as a JSON description. So the W3C Web of Things just says there's JSON descriptions of properties, actions, and events, and that's how you figure this stuff out. All of our source code is open source on GitHub, Mozilla-IoT. We have public discourse and IRC channels and issues on GitHub. The architecture is basically, the core is written in Node, but these adapters or add-on frameworks that bridge commercial devices can be written in any language. And the whole goal is for you to take control of your smart home. Earlier today, I want to call out YC Wang, who's sitting on the couch in the back from DigiKey, and he set up a meeting where we were at Nian Poly University, and I gave a hands-on demo today. Where did I put my stuff? Okay. And he donated some of these circuit playgrounds that you can turn into fun stuff. And I was using a program called microblocks, which makes it really easy to do. And we funded through Mozilla's open source support grant, this project microblocks, which is also completely open source and free, to incorporate a Web of Things library. So you can go grab examples, and kids and students and myself, you can build web things. And here, even though it's not formatted, you can see if I have an IP-based, like an ESP32, it can actually generate its JSON content locally on the microcontroller itself. And you could go to its web page, but it also connects up to the gateway. So I thought I'd jump over to a live demo. First, let's see if we can get to some like it's 2 in the morning. Yeah, it's 2:45 in the morning in California. Let's just see if we can, I was having trouble pulling up this page a moment ago. Let me just reload it. Let's start with my house. I want to just tell you about a little bit of the privacy issues. So if I load the logs in my house, you can see the main door where we enter and go out last opened at 8:48 or something like that. So my husband is at home, so you can see when he comes in home and goes, just with one little door sensor. Looks like this, right? Imagine all that data. And then there's things like lights automatically turning on and off to make it appear that you're home. The earthquake monitor is one of my favorites. I'll show you what that looks like, the tide in Redwood City. So what I wanted to show you is it's not just about creating data that you generate that goes out, but these data, like the earthquake monitor, sometimes, you know, randomly, I'll be given a presentation, an earthquake from the USGS will come in and it'll go active and it'll stay there for 10 minutes. This is the tide in Redwood City. So these are APIs where we're setting up the, to the outside world. And then I have like leak sensors under the sink, tells me, and I have these hooked up to notifications because I'm not looking at this user interface all the time. And so I can send notifications out in many different ways. And the internet radio, I can stream, I can load up, you know, some of my favorite stations like Radio Swiss Jazz or KQED. I don't think I'll turn the radio on at home. I don't know if this page is ever loaded. Load that one up. And so then I wanted to show you, I have this local gateway here that I'm just going to demonstrate. Some of the magic that I can't really demonstrate very well here is that I have a speaker microphone through USB. I have my own little Wi-Fi network here. So it's on my own little home network, if you will. And I have commercial off-the-shelf stuff. First, I need to jump over to this web page. It's going to be going to this private network. Okay. Oh, and I didn't show you, there's floor plan view and rules. I'll show that, demonstrate that really quickly here. If I get this network set up, load. Yeah, here it comes. Okay. So what I've done is I've done a rule where if I open the door, I'm going to turn on the rainbow light. My page is not quite loaded yet. And you can see the motion sensor. Here we go. So if anyone can see that the icons match what I'm doing. And these snow pixels, there's a things, let me skip to my other screen. There's a things 1 second pulse that I created, and an everything 1 second pulse that I created that I can turn things on and off easily. And I can even do this with my voice. Hey, Snips, turn things on. Oh, don't disappoint me. Hey, Snips, turn things on. It's a little better. And you can, when you create new things, it'll pick up the word. I can say, hey, Snips, turn off the rainbow. And then that little everything button, because it's always on when I turn it off, it turns off the other things. Hey, Snips, turn everything off. So it's really useful for you to be able to create names of things and then group things when you're at home or anywhere. And then there's, I left my internet connected situation to do the local stuff. I was gonna show you really quick, if I have a chance, how to create new things. So I have this microblocks application. I'm just going to open an example. We're going to do something in real time. My Circuit Playground Express. It's a little ambulance example. But instead of ambulance, I'm going to call it an alarm. So what this does is the Web of Things library is right here, and then you get like tones to make noises, neopixels to change the colors. You put it all together, and this is a live programming environment. So the blocks that I just started are actually running as bytecode. And there's a microblocks add-on. And if all goes well, it will find my ambulance, that I called an alarm. And I'll save that. Done. And now that thing becomes a web thing. And then the last really quick thing that I didn't really show off very well, but rules. I already have a rule that when the door is open, it turns on the rainbow. We can just add the alarm to that, say triggered, and this is a while rule that can be if or while. So now that I have this rule set up, when the door is open, should both have that light on. Oops, that's the motion sensor, and set the. So you can see how quickly all that goes. So that's Web Things in a nutshell. And I got one more little announcement. Got to run back to the grab guest. Grab this. Is that I have a bag of micro SD cards for the image that you can plug into a Raspberry Pi and turn it into your own private smart home WebThings gateway. I have a little limited number, they're about 30 or so, but if you have a Raspberry Pi, I've pre-flashed the Mozilla IoT logo, or I mean image, software image, and you just plug it in and you go through 3 steps. Get it on your network, give it a private subdomain, and give it a first user account so you can tunnel in remotely, and then you start buying stuff or making stuff. So hope you all enjoy that, and come find me later if you want a micro SD card. Thank you.